Hi, I'm Chef Kirk here today for Ardent Mills, the premier flour milling and ingredient company for innovative and nutritious grain-based solutions. Today, I'm going to be taking you through some top troubleshooting tips while you're making your cakes. There's so many different flours out there, and which one you choose greatly affects your finished product. Today, we're going to be making two 8-inch white cakes. And for that, we're going to be using our Ardent Mills high ratio cake flour. We're going to be starting our recipe with our butter, and with our butter, our milk, and our eggs, we want to make sure that they're all room temperature so that they come together very good in our batter. To our butter, we're going to add our sugar. Now we're going to cream our butter and our sugar together for about 5 minutes, but I want to take a moment here to talk about food safety. Since we're using both eggs and flour, which are considered raw ingredients, make sure that you're not tasting the batter until your cakes are fully cooked. Now let's start by lifting up our bowl, turning our mixer on low for 1 minute before moving it up to medium for the remaining 4 minutes of cream time. All right, so we're back now after 5 minutes of cream time. Next up, we have our salt, and I want to put that in and let it go for just a minute to combine with the butter and the sugar. Up next, we have our vanilla and our eggs. Now we want to make sure, because they're liquid and they're going into a fat, we want to make sure they're fully incorporated, so we are going to leave the mixer running while we do this, and we are going to add our eggs one at a time. Next, we're going to add our baking powder, and then we're going to add our milk and our flour, alternating 1/3 of each ingredient at a time until we've used up all the remaining ingredients. And you can see we have a nice, even, consistent cake batter that's ready to go into our pans. So now we're just going to split our batter evenly between our two cake rings. All right, now that our cake batter has been leveled off, we're ready to go into the oven for approximately 30 minutes or until a wooden skewer comes out nice and clean. We're back with our fully baked cakes. We've got one of the good ones that we've made today, along with 3 others that I've made a few deliberate missteps in to show you what would result from having an error in your cake as you went along. So on our first good cake, you can see that we've got a nice level top. We've got a nice consistent color on that cake. There's no visible holes through the top. Our second cake was actually cooked at too low of a temperature. That resulted in it staying in there for a longer period of time, and as a result, our top is a lot darker brown. Our bottom is very dark and brown, and it's also a little bit crispy, just because that batter is dried out. Our third cake, you can notice on top, has actually sunk in the middle. That was cooked at too high of a temperature, or pulled out a little bit before it was done. And what that has resulted in is not enough structure in the cake, so when it cools off, that cake will collapse in the center. And also, because it was at too high of a temperature, we've got some holes throughout the top of the cake. Our last cake on the end here, you can see that it has quite distinct holes in the top, and that's a result of either creaming for too long of a time at the initial stage with the butter and the sugar, or it was creamed at too fast of a speed, and there was just too much air brought into that mix before it was baked. And now we're ready to cut into our wonderful white cake and enjoy a slice. For more tips, flour and grain recommendations, make sure to check out our website.